2, 1, and liftoff.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
After the launch of the Soviet craft Sputnik on October 4th of 1957, the U.S. turned towards its own space efforts.
The Sputnik crisis led to the creation of the Advanced Research Projects Agency, or ARPA, in February of 1958. They developed space technology for military applications.
On July 29th of 1958, the 85th U.S. Congress established NASA with the National Aeronautics and Space Act. NASA was officially launched on October 1st of 1958.
NASA was established during Eisenhower's presidency. However, the first launch was overseen by President Kennedy.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
A community is a group of people living in the same place or having a particular characteristic in common. A U.S. citizen is defined as all persons born or naturalized in the U.S. and subject to the jurisdiction thereof.
The community affected by NASA includes all persons living or residing in the United States. SpaceX is a private company that designs rockets and launches spacecrafts. It was founded in 2002 with the goal to enable people to live on other planets. SpaceX has 30 vehicles, 40-plus manifest, and 3,000-plus employees. SpaceX functions under a $1.6 billion contract with NASA. It is the only private company to return a spacecraft from low Earth orbit.
NASA's helped develop technology for exercise like this bike that I'm on right now.
I grew up during the Cold War, and it was exciting to see the race between the Russians.
A lot of things I think that are developed in our private economy, in the medical industry, and things we use at our house, and things that impact our cars, our communication devices. NASA has always influenced or been the leaders on that.
I went to NASA once with the Girl Scouts and bought a monkey, and it was pretty cool.
NASA has filtered down into our educational system, and it's impacted all of our development and engineering.
NASA research to reduce drag led to the addition of winglets on planes. There are turned-up tips on wings that help to save fuel. Discoveries made observing astronauts in space led to seat designs that are more comfortable on long drives.
Water purification technology used on the Apollo spacecraft is now employed in several applications to kill bacteria, viruses, algae, and community water supply systems.
We can talk with people on the other side of the globe thanks to the 200 NASA satellites orbiting the Earth. NASA helped to innovate solar energy, trimming down traditional energy expenses and reducing pollution. Artificial limbs came into existence as a result of their work with muscle systems for use in robotics and extravehicular activities. Countless lives have been saved thanks to the heart pump NASA invented for patients waiting for a heart transplant. The material for invisible braces was created by NASA Advanced Ceramic Research. Scratch-resistant lenses resulted from NASA's need for a special coating to protect space equipment from space dirt. LED units were developed for the space shuttles, and they may eventually play a vital role in general lighting because of their power efficiency. The first smoke detector was invented to let astronauts know if there was a fire or noxious gases in Skylab, the first U.S. space station. A stronger fibrous material was developed for use in parachute shrouds to land the Viking lander spacecraft on Mars, and now a new radial tire that lasts longer is being produced.
They used to take pictures of the moon back in the 60s was key pieces of technology that private developers used to help create the MRI and CAT scan. It's not about what's on Mars or landing on Mars that's significant. It's about what we are going to have to learn and what human beings are going to develop to get there and live there. And those things all will benefit us here on Earth and in our society and our economy.
So when we think about how we grow our economy and how we create a highly skilled workforce, we have to remember that NASA has always been, will always be, a source of innovation and tangible economic benefits for American families.
The government can't totally support all those efforts. Our tax money cannot totally support all those efforts. There needs to be a mixture of government leadership through NASA, but also the power and the incentives and motivation and efficiency and productivity of the private sector. SpaceX and doing what they're doing under the profit motive, but is going to be very helpful.
In 1967, 3 of the first group of NASA astronauts died during a routine ground test of Apollo 1. In 1986, the Space Shuttle Challenger erupted in a fireball seconds after takeoff that killed the entire crew. The Constellation program was canceled because of corruption. $9 billion were thrown away due to corrupt management and spending on the program. There are a lot of opportunity costs that come with directing so much funding toward NASA, especially with today's political, social, and economic conditions in America.
The end of the Space Shuttle program certainly is bittersweet, but it also represents a new opportunity for us as private industry now will step up and build the next generation crew vehicle.
In the future, NASA hopes to send astronauts to Mars. NASA is also researching new solar propulsion technology in order to send ships further than ever before. Lastly, NASA is working on a supersonic decelerator which will be used to land heavier payloads.
Dear Congress, thank you for NASA.